What's going on, everybody? This is your man Larry, aka the American Brazilian. Hope you guys are having a good day. Tenho bom dia. A good day. Hope you had a good day. Portuguese. I'm getting better. Anyway, I wanted to jump on real quick, and I guess I'm gonna title this video "The Lessons That We Can Learn from the Derrick Jaxn Debacle." And when I initially heard it, of course, you know, social media is just so interesting. You know, they have all these things that are going on, and, you know, this person did this person did that. And of course, you know, I definitely want to give a big shout out to O'Shea. I watched his show last night. I think at the Brother Pill, Obsidian, and LAR, and they were discussing the matter a little bit in more detail. And I thought about something, man, and this quote came to mind, and that was this: the day after the victory is more dangerous than the day before the battle. And I'll say it again. The day after the victory is more dangerous than the day before the battle. And I know conventional wisdom says, well, no, it's just the opposite. The day before the battle is more dangerous because, you know, there's the thought of being maimed, killed, ultimately losing the war. Well, it's actually as the quote goes, because a lot of times when you have accomplished certain things, you tend to get a little lax, a little nonchalant. You tend to be a little messy. You know, you don't move as careful as you once did, and ultimately you kind of carry that mental credo: do as I do and do as I say and not as I do. I think for him, you know, I saw some of his posts, and he was talking about how, you know, he's given his life to the Lord. You know, he and his wife, you know, they're in a covenant now. They kind of strayed, and all of that sounds good, and I'm not knocking that at all. You know, hey, if you make a mistake, you know, definitely, if you want to get that thing right, get it right. I won't argue with that in any way. But I think what he is probably missing is this: people are not okay. You got that. You got things right. You know, between you and your wife. You know, between you and the Creator, and that's great. But we're still holding the guy from last week, or the guy who actually committed the infraction. That's what we're holding accountable. And you guys just happen to look alike. It's kind of like if you robbed the bank, right? So if you robbed the bank and you got home and you decided, you know what, I feel horrible about this. I scared people. I took something that wasn't mine. I broke the law. And you want to go back to the branch the next day, and you want to, you know, render a full mea culpa, you know, with the money that you took, and turn everything in and all of that good stuff. You can do that. But guess what? They are still going to hold the person who actually took the money and robbed the bank accountable. And that was you a day before your senses set in. So I understand what he's, you know, I get it. But, you know, the thing about his brand of, I guess, communicating to people is he came across very disingenuous, almost like, I'm going to tell you everything that I think you want to hear to increase my base, to build my brand. And that can only, that's not self-sustaining. It can only last for so long. And at some point, the representative leaves the building. They always do. And the real person is there, left to hold the bag. And unfortunately, in the process of him, you know, saying things, you know, he came across kind of judgmental, non-empathetic, just very unrealistic. And in the process, he burned so many bridges. So now, since, you know, this situation has occurred, he's left to try to moonwalk on glass with a wheelbarrow to try to pick up some of the pieces to try to cross a bridge that is, for the most part, scorched earth. And that's pretty impossible to do. Now, what's interesting is this: and let me say this. Hopefully the guy, I can't believe that this guy had friends or people that he was accountable to. Homeboys that were cool with his wife, right? I have friends in my life, and they're cool with my wife. Do you honestly think that I could do something to my wife? They know about it and will be cool with it? We were talking about that today. A buddy of mine, he said, no, he said, I would give you 3 options. A, you're going to stop immediately. B, we'll no longer be friends. Or C, whenever your wife sees me and she asks me why I stopped coming around, I'm going to let her know you need to talk to your husband. And I'm glad I got people in my life like that, because I don't want to be the type of guy who, God forbid, I'm getting ready to do something dumb and, somebody made me mad and one of these so-called friends said, well, you want to borrow my gun? I mean, I don't need friends like that. No, pull me off the ledge. Talk some sense into me. But I don't know. Sometimes people are so secretive to where even if they have friends, they try to move in such a way to where it's almost like they know that the people that they're close to are going to challenge them. So, but I don't know. I tend to believe that he couldn't have had any friends, and if he did have friends, and they knew about that. Those aren't friends. Those are sycophants. They're around for the money. They're yes men. You don't want people like that in your life. Because my thing is this right here. If you my homie and you cheating on your wife, and I check you and you get an attitude, then me and you gonna have to part ways, because if you cheat on your wife with another woman, then you might try to cheat on your wife with my wife. And so I couldn't. I can't rock with nobody that would do that. But here's the thing. Okay, so now you come clean. You've rendered your mea culpa. Say you've gotten things right, as you should. Hopefully things will go well. Hopefully they will. You would think that a lot of women would be like, hold up. Nah, we remember what you said about, black men don't cheat and this, that, and other. But there are a lot of people that will look at the fact that he was actually willing to do whatever it is that he did, and they'll look at that with the mindset of, you know what? Well, if he messed around on his wife with this person, maybe I could be next. I mean, it's kind of like the same mindset of a junkie, right? So, if somebody's selling, a product, some narcotics, and it hadn't been cut right, and it's really pure, and somebody ODs, you would think conventional wisdom says, okay, well, if I am dabbling in that type of lifestyle, I'm not going to deal with this guy because his product is killing people. It's just the opposite. People run harder toward that product because they feel like if the potency is of such to where somebody's ODing, then it's some really good stuff, and I need to get some of that. You can't make this up. This like, people actually think that way. So, what are the lessons learned from this situation? A, I would say this: don't be judgmental. Don't be judgmental, because you see someone doing something, questionable behavior, they get caught up in a bad situation like this, and you this and you that. You really can't be judgmental. That's, making statements, hey, black men don't cheat. You can't make statements like that, because you can't paint everybody with a broad brush. People are still human, and people make mistakes. I'm not justifying wrong, but people make mistakes. Number 2 is this: you have to be empathetic. You have to be willing to give people the benefit of the doubt for simply being human. And if you can't do that, then whenever you need the benefit of the doubt, whenever you need the mercy that you refuse to give, it might not be there waiting for you. So don't be judgmental. Give people the benefit of the doubt. Be empathetic. toward others. You don't have to excuse their behavior, but be empathetic. And number 3, have somebody that can talk you off the ledge. Don't be such an independent person where you can't have anybody tell you when you're wrong. Or if you have somebody in your life and they tell you, hey, I think you're doing something wrong, don't be so quick to push that person aside or get away from that person. Because that person, their words may very well be the difference between life and death for you. It's kind of like, you ever had somebody tell you to don't do something, and you keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing it? And I'll tell you a quick story. Okay, my brother and I, my mom had this glass table that she had bought, but the edges of the bottom of it was really, really sharp. Weird, but it's kind of one of those unique type pieces that she just kind of like picked up from a furniture store, and she just loved this glass table. Well, one day my brother and I, we were just kind of like playing in the house, running around the glass table and trying to catch each other and all this stuff. We were kids. And I remember her distinctly telling us a number of times, stop running around the table, somebody's gonna get hurt. Stop running around the table. Well, you know, she's our mom, she's not here, we know better than she does, right? And on that 4th lap, my brother, he got close to the edges at the bottom, which were sharp, and took a big chunk out of his heel, right? So he's bleeding profusely. I'm screaming, crying, ah! My mom comes in there, she calms everybody down and, you know, fusses at us a little bit. And then she posed a rhetorical question, and it was this. She said, you think if you guys would have taken my advice and stopped running around the 3rd time, we wouldn't be in this situation? To which we just kind of paused and looked at each other, because we knew what she said was correct. And that I would hope that even if he didn't have anybody that was accountable, you hear things. They call it, you know, whatever. When you're doing wrong, somebody's trying to get your attention. Hey, I don't think you should be doing that. I don't think you should be doing that. And I think a lot of times another part of and I know it sounds like I'm rambling, but I'm making a point. Another part of the day after the victory being dangerous is you begin to believe your own hype. You begin to think, well, surely I can do this and it's not going to happen to me. Because after all, I am the object of everybody's affection. I am the cult of personality. I am the one who's giving out the advice. So I can handle certain actions and be able to walk away from it, wherein these people cannot. Hence, them coming to me, listen to me for advice. But I think Public Enemy, they were prophets when they said, don't believe the hype. Because the worst thing for anybody to believe is their own hype. Your own hype will become your kryptonite, Superman. It really will. So you have to be very careful in how you move and how the decisions that you make, especially when you know your conscience is telling you, don't do this or stop. You need to stop. Because if you don't, I really believe that a person's conscience, it deals with them. Off and on, just, hey, stop. I think you need to stop. I think you need to not do this. You're getting close. Get afraid when you can do wrong and it not bother you. And some people have gotten to the point where they can cheat on their wives, they can do certain things, and they're not even bothering them. It's like the conscience don't even bother them. They don't even feel bad about it anymore. Because it's at that point, now you're playing Russian roulette. You really are playing Russian roulette. Because you're spinning the barrel of a loaded gun with 3 bullets in the chamber, not 1, but 3. So I again, man, I hope everything, works out. I hope that if he, still decides to give relationship advice or whatever advice he gives, that he can be a lot more genuine, that he can be a lot more empathetic, and that he can be less judgmental and more practical and realistic. All right. So I would just say this right here. When you hold that sword of advice in your hand and you use it to live by and kill people and hurt people, be careful, because if you live by the sword, chances are you're not going to die by a safety pin. That's all I got. I will talk to you guys on the next one. This is your man Larry, the American Brazilian, saying, tenho noite abençoado. Have a blessed night. Até breve. I'll see you soon. É verdade. It's true. Beijos e abraços. Hugs and kisses. Talk to you later.